Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing a foundation wear test for the QUO Matte Revolution foundation. Now I just recently did a try-on video where I tried a whole bunch of their new products for 2017 and this foundation was one of them. But a few people in the comments asked if I could do a full review on it, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm gonna put this on in the morning, it's about 7:45 right now, and then I'm going to wear it throughout the day, come back at 5 o'clock and give you my opinions as well as show you what it looks like on my face. For reference, I am a MAC NW20 right about now. I do get a little bit darker in the summer, but we're in the winter right now, so I am around that NW20 mark. In general, I consider my skin to be pretty much normal, but I guess some people would call it combination in the sense that I am dry in the winter and then I do get a little bit oily in the summer. Now, reading off my notes from the press sheet, the QUO Matte Revolution foundation is a full coverage 2-in-1 foundation and concealer that has an HD soft focus finish as well as a luminous matte finish. Now that's a little bit strange because luminous and matte don't really go together. I do know that when I first tried this on, I thought it had more of a satin finish. So that's kind of the halfway point between luminous and matte in my opinion. This is a long wearing foundation, but they make no claims to how long it's supposed to last. An average workday is 9 to 10 hours, so that's how long I'm going to be testing it for. And it is mineral oil and paraben free. This foundation comes in sadly only 5 shades, which is not enough, guys, and retails for 24 Canadian. All right, so to zoom you in, I'm going to be applying this with my damp Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. This is what I use for my foundation every single time that I do it. I have not primed my face, I've just washed it and applied moisturizer. This is your standard 30 mils or 1 ounce bottle of foundation. It comes with a pump top, which I am so freaking happy about, and I'm going to be wearing the shade 1 today. Just gonna pump some out on the back of my hand and then go in with my sponge. I would say this is more of a yellow tone foundation, which is fine for me because I like using that to cover up any pinkness in my skin. You also don't need a ton. The coverage is quite good for very little product. Now it does claim to be a concealer as well. I don't wear concealer, so I'm just looking for a more coverage in general. I guess that means you could build it up. I might add a little bit more underneath my under eye just to see if it can behave like a concealer. But honestly, I'm so prone to creasing under my eyes that that's not, like, I don't really judge things based on whether or not they're gonna crease on my under eye area. Okay, all done. I think that is the fastest I have ever applied foundation in my life. That just glided on seamlessly and it seemed to really meld with my skin too. There was no like having to push harder with the sponge to blend it in, which I hugely appreciate, especially in the mornings before work. Looking at it in the mirror, I don't see any rough patches or anywhere that it's like clinging to skin. It just looks really good. This is more of a fuller coverage foundation. I would say it's maybe not completely full coverage like some products I have used, but it's quite up there in terms of coverage. All right, I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup and be right back. All right, it is currently 7:56 a.m. I hope you can see that. The white background is not helping matters. It is shortly before work, so for me, I am going to run off to work, do my work day, not touch up, not do anything to my face, come back, and we'll see how it wore. All right, I am currently back from work now. It is 5:08 p.m. and this foundation has held up really well. I do feel like I'm kind of luminous. It's not quite oily, I would say, but there is more of a sheen to my face than I had this morning, that's for sure. I do feel like the foundation has reacted differently in different areas of my skin. In some areas, especially here-ish, I find it a little bit powdery, almost as if it's laying on top of the skin. However, on my cheekbones and especially on my forehead, that's where the shine seems to come through a little bit. That being said, seeing some oil on my skin after about 9 hours of wear is not exactly like a weird thing, and I don't think that anybody should expect their foundation to stay fully matte for that amount of time. For me though, a level of sheen like this is not bothersome. I would think nothing of going out for the evening with a face like this. I could easily continue wearing this into the evening and not be worried about my face sort of melting off. Some things that are especially nice about this foundation is that it has not gathered in certain problem areas. I tend to get crease marks where my forehead creases when my eyebrows go up. There is a very minimal amount of product in there, in my creases, but it's not as bad as I have seen on some foundations. Some foundations overly accentuate that area, and I really don't like how it collects. This foundation is fine for that. One of the aspects that I liked the most about this foundation was how quickly it applied to my face. Very little product was needed to basically give me a blank slate, and it didn't take very long. I think that is the fastest I have ever applied foundation. It just went on so easily. The other thing that was really nice was that I felt like all of the product that I added on top of the foundation really stayed put all day. I can still see my blush quite vividly, and my highlighter, which was not a super shiny one, is still really quite there. So I liked how it basically made my face makeup lock in place. So in short, I would say that I actually quite enjoyed the QUO Matte Revolution foundation, and I would absolutely wear it again. At $24 for this at the drugstore, I think it is a good price point, especially since a lot of Canadian brands do seem to be on quite a bit more of an elevated plane for prices. My biggest gripe with this foundation though has got to be the shade range. It's only got 5 shades, and frankly, that's just not enough to cover the spectrum of skin tones that we have in Canada. So that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you found the time trial and review of the foundation helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.